Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is David, and if you're new here, hi, welcome. I know I have some new subscribers, so if you're new to my channel and if this is the first one that you're watching, thank you so much. Today I'm going to be talking about The Martian, which is the third novel that was recommended to me by my subscribers. Throughout the month of August 2020, which is the month I was born under, I'm calling it Subscriber Month, and pretty much what it is, it's my own little way, something that I made up, and it's my own little way of showing my appreciation to all my wonderful subscribers, which is currently 136, which is insane. I've no idea why people find me interesting or like my content, but yeah, hey, the world's a crazy place right now, and yeah. But I mean, whatever floats your boat or you're interested in. I mean, if you're interested in me and my content, then that's great. If you aren't, that's fine. If you're not subscribed to my channel, please consider doing so. But you don't have to. If you've just come across this video when you've been surfing or whatever you want to call it on YouTube, and you've just come across this video, yeah. I mean, you don't have to subscribe to my channel if you don't want to, but I would really appreciate if you give it a thumbs up at the end. But I mean, anyway, when I asked all my wonderful subscribers what they would like me to read for the month of August, they all sent me out a list of all different books. I think I got about 9, and I wrote them all down, folded them all up, so I couldn't really see what the titles were, and I blindly picked out them. And the first one was Pet by Awakey Emsbury, so please check that out. And also Clan of the Cave Bear. I've done video reviews on both the novels, so please check them out. They are live on my channel right now. And the next one after Clan of the Cave Bear that I blindly picked, was The Martian by Andy Weir. This is the first novel that I picked during the during Subscriber Month that I knew what I was in for, because I had obviously watched the movie numerous times that was directed by Ridley Scott and stars Matt Damon as the main character of Mark Watney. This is a brilliant film. It really is. If you're really into sci-fi, it really is really good. I can't really recommend this movie enough. It's one of the movies which you can watch numerous times over and over and over again, and you can't get bored of it. It's impossible for me to get bored of this movie. This is the Blu-ray, and this has got 2 versions. It's got the theatrical version and the extended cut as well. So, and it's got a bunch of special features. You know, all that lovely, wonderful stuff that Blu-rays have. Going into The Martian, I knew what I was in for, but I knew that, sorry about the, yeah, there we go. Sorry about the glare. I've just come back from work, so apologies for that. I'm filming in this on Thursday, so hi, from the future. So, because I have got work tomorrow and I don't really want to film this first thing in the morning and do a bit of rushing because I need to get ready for work, you know, and all that jazz. So I wanted to pre-filming it tonight, and so it's all ready in the morning for you guys to watch. Anyway, going into the book, I knew what I was going in. I knew what I was signing up for, and but I knew that there might have been some changes from the book to the movie, or from the book, or from the movie to the book. I knew that there was going to be some differences. I didn't know what they were. But yeah, I didn't watch any reviews going in, even though I knew perfectly well what the novel was about, or actually is about, but I didn't watch any reviews because I didn't want it to sway my opinions about it. Even though I do know that people highly praise this book, and it really does deserve every single ounce of praise this novel gets. This novel was recommended to me by a channel called Mary Jo Headrick. As always, guys, if you see me looking down, sorry, I've got a stutter. I'm just looking at my notes, so just so you know. So I will put a link down in the description box down below to Mary Jo's channel. Yeah, please check out her channel. She's a fellow booktuber, so try to show some support and some love. So the novel was sorry, my voice went there for a minute. The novel was published in 2011, and the author is, as I said, is Andy Weir, who is an American author, and he was born on the 16th of June 1972. Obviously the movie was directed by Ridley Scott and starring Matt Damon, and was actually released in the UK on the 30th of September 2015, and it was probably released worldwide in the same year as well. Let me see. So just making sure I covered everything. So yeah, so before I get into my review, I just want to say, as I always do, this is going to be a spoiler-free video, and this is going to be my own thoughts and opinions regarding this book. It's not even though I really love this book, it's not perfect. But I will go through that in my likes and dislikes section. So please remember that going forward, guys. So, what's the story of The Martian? Well, first off, it is a science fiction story. If that wasn't made explicitly clear by the title, and also I'm pretty sure I said that this was a science fiction movie as well. It focuses entirely on one guy's perspective, that being the main character called Mark Watney, who is a astronaut. He is a botanist, and he is also a mechanic. He is an engineer, and the novel is completely written, or partially, or mostly written from Mark's perspective. He does all these log entries where he says like soul 6 or soul 115 or whatever. If you don't know what a soul is, SOL, it's basically a day on Mars, which is about 30 minutes longer than the average day on Earth. So apart from being a 24-hour day, a day on Mars is 24 hours and 30 minutes. That is one soul. And in case you want to know that, if you're a bit confused about what a soul means, it is described in the book about what a soul actually is. But if you want to know what a soul is right off the bat, that's pretty much what it is. And it's written mostly from Mark's perspective. As I said, it's all written in log entries or diary entries, where he says, right, log entry soul 6, and he talks and he writes what he has actually been doing on that day. And he has been basically, him and his crew have gone to Mars. They have been doing their little Mars exploration and sciencey stuff. And this storm has been unleashed on Mars, and they're running back to their rocket. And Mark has been struck by a piece of flying debris, and he is lost in the storm. And because his suit has been punctured, they automatically assume that Mark has been killed, even though his commander, the person in charge, who is a female, female empowerment. Her name is called Melissa Lewis, but in the novel she's referred to as Lewis. She is extremely protective over Mark and her crew. She is very dedicated to her crew and her mission and her career as an astronaut. Other members of the crew are Rick Mortez, who is all these crew members are referred to by their last name. Mortez is a kind of a I wouldn't say a space cowboy, but he's the closest thing to a best friend that Mark has in the book. You got you have Beth Jonason. Not sure if I've said her name right. She's not. I thought she was kind of a weak character, but she's okay. And you have Alex Vogel, who is a German. I listened to some of this on audio as well, and the guy who the accent that the guy was giving Vogel, he sounded more Russian than German, so I thought that was kind of funny. And yeah, he's a really good guy. He's really likable. And you also got Dr. Chris Beck. Again, I thought he's an okay character. So they presume that Mark has been killed on the surface of Mars. So reluctantly, Lewis and the other members of the crew leave Watney because they can't find him. They don't know where his body is, and they presume that he's been killed. So they reluctantly leave him on Mars. But when Mark comes to, he finds that he has survived the impact from this piece of debris that's actually pierced through his suits, his space suits, and he goes back to what is referred to as the Hab, which is a massive construction or a massive building, or a tent or canopy or whatever, where it's actually where the crew members were sleeping and working, and where everything happened, where they ate, where they slept, where they worked, and all that stuff. And it's all sealed. It's all air. It's actually got an airlock, so Mark can go in there. He can press some little buttons and pull some switches and levers and do whatever he needs to do, and he can take off his helmet and he can breathe. But it's just about Mark's ability to actually survive. He's got to survive on Mars because there's nothing else he can do. The book is very technical. There is loads of scientific terminology where it's about how things actually work, and about space stuff and NASA stuff. It's not too complicated, and it's not stretched out for a long period of time, but it can get a bit technical, but he tries to make it he tries to lighten up the mood by his humour. Mark has a very dry and funny and sarcastic sense of humour. You may be thinking that he is in some form of denial, and he uses humour to relieve the tension and to try to I wouldn't say try to be in denial or really deflect about what his bad situation is, because he knows that he is in the shit. He is in a very hostile world where he could run out of air. If the hair blows, he could suffocate and explode. He could easily run out of food because nothing can grow and there's no food on the native planet of Mars. And the rations that the crew originally had, he has only got a limited amount of food in for himself that he can survive. Even if he rations it out, it can only take him to so many days. And it says constantly throughout the book that he has to maintain a certain calorie count in order to be able to function properly. As I said, he writes us all down in log entries. He writes it all down, and but some of them are audio, where he films or records his voice, and it says audio transcription or whatever it is. And these are pretty much diary entries. I think these are mostly for to keep Mark's sanity, or to keep him sane in his head. And in a way, it's a way for him to document his experiences and his troubles on the planet. He tells us about how he has all these potatoes and he wants to grow more. So he gets all this dirt and he mixes it up with all the different members of the crew's shit. And even in his own shit and piss are all mixed up in there. And he grows all these potatoes in the hab. He makes pretty much this scientific lab on this desolate planet look like a big massive greenhouse. And he tells us about how he can get more water, so as the story progresses, we find out that NASA have these satellites that are going over the surface of Mars, and one day one of these scientists are looking at their monitors and doing whatever it is that they do over in NASA, and they find out that Mark is alive. They find out that they have actually left him on Mars. They haven't done it. They actually know they haven't done this on purpose. It's just what the outcome is. What the outcome actually turned out to be. There's some people that are main characters, because in this book it talks from the perspective of Mark, which because you can tell what perspective it is, because he always opens up all Mark's little bits and pieces are always starting off with log entry, Sol 100 or whatever, and then if it's set on NASA and on Earth, you're in NASA, it doesn't have any of that Sol stuff. But some of the main characters on that in NASA are Teddy Sanderson, which is the big guy. He's the head guy of NASA. He's the guy that's basically in charge of the whole thing. And you have a guy called Venkat Kopa, who is also a scientist. He's been more proactive in trying to find out about what Mark is doing and studying him and trying to help him survive. And you've also got a guy called Mitch Henderson. I'm pretty sure that it gave me the impression that Mitch might have been an ex-astronaut, because he seems to be more dedicated to the astronauts and their well-being and their way of life, and basically he wants to take care of them and make sure that they're okay, being a sort of father figure to them, if you will. One day Mark, on the surface of Mars, knows that he has to survive this, because the spaceship the ship that came down to Earth, or the mission, was called Ares 3. That's like it's like Apollo 11, or that's what the ship was actually called, the Ares 3. And he knows that the only way that he can survive is to get enough food so he can survive to actually be on Mars when the next mission to Mars gets there in about 4 years. He's planning to survive on Mars for 4 years. He knows that there's another mission called the Ares 4, which is planning to go to Mars in about 4 years. So he has to try to get food and survive during that time. So one day he goes off into the rover, which is like a massive space vehicle. And he goes off and tries to find this device, which is called Pathfinder. In a nutshell, it is pretty much a way of him being able to communicate with NASA, and them being able to have conversations back and forth. This starts off because the Pathfinder has this rotating camera which has the ability to point to certain things, and Mark uses this as a way of communicating, and this is kind of a primitive way of them actually doing it, and then it evolves around them connecting up a thingamajiggy with a Pathfinder, so they can be able to basically email across the galaxy and send messages, and have more detailed conversations, so Mark knows what's what, and they can and they know what Mark's well-being and situation is like over in Mars. Throughout the story, Mark constantly tells the crew that he doesn't blame Lewis and the crew for leaving him. It's not their fault. He is not bitter or angry about the situation that he's in. He's more angry at Mars itself, because he sees Mars as the enemy of this about this one destructive force that is constantly trying to kill him, or could kill him at any time. He could run out of food, or he could, because there's actually no air on Mars, so if he goes out and his spacesuit's his breech has always got a hole in it, he could pretty much die if he can't tape it up or actually repair it in a certain amount of time. As the story progresses, NASA is constantly trying to find out about a plan to actually rescue Mark from the surface of Mars, and they first they try to send him all this food, which, you know, in this massive rocket, which is unmanned, which goes horribly wrong. And ultimately, it comes down to the original crew members, Lewis and her crew, to have the choice whether they have the ability to actually save Mark. But if they do, they are going to be up in space for about 1,000 days, I think it is, or something stupid like that, a long period of time. And when they get back, Lewis says, "Oh, that there's actually going to be no way for that NASA's ever going to send them up in space." It is such a great story. It really is. It's like a good story of humanity and in the struggle. Because Mark has been put in this horrible situation where he's the first person to ever live on Mars. To a certain extent, and I think his total time that he spent on Mars is 1.5 years, and that's incredible. When most people would actually panic and they would probably die in about a few days. But yeah, it's really incredible. It really is. It's such a great book. I can't recommend this book enough. Sorry, it's getting a bit dark, guys. Hopefully you can still see me. So that's pretty much what the story is. It's about Mark living on the surface of Mars long enough without dying, obviously, and waiting for NASA to rescue him in some shape or form. Yeah, it's a constant battle between Mark and NASA trying to figure out how this is going to happen. Likes and dislikes. What I liked about this book, the humour is great. The character of Mark Watney is amazing. Some of the side characters are amazing. Teddy, Mitch, Venkat to a certain extent is good. Lewis is good. The Mortez character is brilliant. Virgo is good to a certain extent as well. I like Mark's sense of humour, as I said. I like the way it's set up in a little diary entry as well, and it's really cool to actually listen to on audio. I actually had to listen to this on audio for some days because I'm back to work now, and it was more easier for me to listen to some of these chapters on audio. Not that I was getting bored with reading the book. It's just that, as I said, I'm working now, so it's messed up all my routine of my reading. Sorry, and when I had to do washing up, or washing up dishes, or having a wash, or doing daily chores in the house, it was easier for me just to listen to like chapter 21, for example, and just listen to an audio and then go back to the novel after I actually listened to that chapter, which was only about 20 minutes. And it's really, really cool. So I would definitely recommend either reading the book or listen to the audio book, or both. And definitely watch the movie. It's brilliant. What I disliked about it, as I said, it can get incredibly technical with explaining about how stuff actually works. But Mark makes all this less boring, I suppose the word would actually be, by interjecting all this humour into it as well. He actually talks about that this is how I'm technically going to get water, and then at the end there's a massive joke. And also when there's a scene in NASA when they're thinking, I wonder what Mark's actually thinking about. He actually thinks that we've actually left him on Mars to die. I wonder what that would actually do to a person. And then it goes to a scene with Mark, and he's thinking about how can Aquaman communicate with mammals when they're not really technically a sea creature, because we are mammals, I suppose. I don't know. So it's really good. That's really all the dislikes I had about it. It can get very technical, but it wasn't really a thing that bored me. It's you know what I mean. Well, hopefully you do. Hopefully you do anyway. Closing statements. fantastic book. Watch the movie, read the book. Because I picked The Martian, I am going to read Artemis, which is the I don't know if this is a direct sequel to The Martian, or whether it's set in the same universe, or whether it mentions Mark Watney at all. I'm going to be reviewing this in November on my channel, so please check that out. Also, let me know down in the comments if this is any good. Don't give me any spoilers or anything like that. Just tell me if it's any good. So yeah, rating of The Martian, give it a 4.5. It would have been a 5 stars if it wasn't so technical, but it was such a fun read. It really was. I can't recommend this book enough. Really, give it a read. I mean, you know, in this day and age when we're all down and, you know, with this coronavirus thing and we need a bit of cheering up, I mean, you can't go wrong with A Martian. So like, comment and subscribe, guys. Click on the little bell on my channel if you want to see more of me. And hopefully you've liked this video. I've tried to make it a bit more as interesting as I possibly can. Watch my other videos as well. And I'll see you on Monday. I booked a whole day off on Monday, so it will allow me to focus entirely on you. I've got to stay in my house anyway, so yeah, it gives me more chance to actually do my video on Monday, or more freedom, you know, if you will. So so with that said, guys, stay safe, stay healthy, and keep reading. And I'll see you on Friday, Monday. Well, yeah, you know, Monday. I'll see you on Monday. Sorry, I'll see you on Monday, guys. Bye.